Woo! And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Whitfield Report Saturday edition of the show. I am your host, Sam Whitfield, back here for another, Saturday edition here in the shit show that is 2020. I'm glad to be here. As glad as anyone really can be to, be here in 2020. It's 2020. It's been a fucking year. What can I say? But anyway, I'm your host, trying to make your year better, somewhat at least, and joined as always by my co-host Apex Gamma. And you can follow me on Twitter at @SamDev_NDC. Hashtag Whitfield Report. You can follow me on Instagram, also at SamW_NDC. On Gab and Parler at Sam Whitfield. Facebook.com/Whitfield Report. TheSamWhitfield.com. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts. And follow Apex Gamma on Twitter at Apex_Gamma. And
don't do that. I'm just kidding.
I do want to take a quick moment to real quick offer you my thoughts and well wishes, Apex. I know today is a hard day for you, and I a couple people have tweeted me about it, and all I can.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
All I can say is, I've never lost a sibling, but I did lose an uncle before his time, so I, in a way, I guess I can kind of relate, and I know it sucks, but anyway, I'm just glad I know you, and, thanks for being part of my life, man.
Well, I appreciate that, man, and I was really grateful for the little bit of outpouring, because I mean, people that follow me that don't, I mean, I got a lot of feedback and a lot of positive comments and stuff, and the thing is I actually kind of felt bad about that, because I realized reading back the tweet that that's kind of what it meant. Like, it read like I was saying, "Hey guys, I'm sad today," which, as you put it, today is a hard day. And I mean, it's not, though. I mean, the hardest day was a year ago today, and every day since then has been hard. But today was just what today was for me, and what that tweet was a reminder to remind people that I mean, I care about most people, but anybody that cares anything about what I have to say, I thought I would use my voice to remind them to tell the people that they love how much they love them while they have a chance, because it's time is fleeting, tomorrow's not guaranteed, and that was the point of it, for me tweeting that out, because that's what I was thinking, because quite frankly, today, exactly a year past, is one of the light is starting to kind of shine through finally. It's been one of the hardest years of my life, and I mean that quite literally, for more reasons than just that, but that was a big factor in the avalanche. But I appreciate yours and everyone else's well wishes, but we all know tragedy, man. Like, I'm not the type to reach out and say, guys, look, I feel bad, make me feel better, kind of thing. And I'm not necessarily assuming that everyone thought that, but
no.
I've had some, engagements with, I don't even know, some young lady on Twitter recently that poured paint on her leg and said she got, attacked by a teenager and dragged through the gravel, and she got a bunch of stitches, and she's got like 17,000 followers, and everyone's like, "Oh my God." I'm like, that is so clearly red paint. I thought it was I thought there were 17,000 people in on some fucking shit posting account, but no, No, that's just people looking for sympathy and lying to do it. Like it was fucking red paint. I mean, she hurt herself somehow. She like fell in some gravel or something, had a little thing in her leg, but she poured fucking red paint all over it. Took a picture, was like, I'm trying to avoid not going to the doctor. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, I just wanted to make that clear, and I didn't tweet much today for me, but I made that clear via a retweet that I sent out earlier, and I wanted to vocalize that now. I mean, again, I appreciate the well wishes and stuff, but it was more about you guys, and everyone that read that. Just, tell the people you love that you love them, because they're not gonna be there forever, and neither are you. So
Nope.
don't waste time. That's all. Let's
And
move on now.
yeah. And on another subject, I do want to apologize, folks. I forgot to mention last week. Just one more housekeeping thing. I forgot to mention at the end of last week's show that this week, not this coming week, but this past week, the one we just finished, was my midterm exams week, so that's why there was no Wednesday podcast. Just because I just didn't have time to do an extra show, so that's what happened there. I'm sorry to the folks who were expecting that. I'll see if maybe I can do an extra one this week, maybe. But yeah, just want to let you know that I'm fine. Nothing happened with me because that was the other thing that happened was I didn't post an episode, so people wondering if I was okay, and yeah, I'm fine. Just busy and forgot to make that announcement. But I actually did manage to watch the VP debate between Pence and Harris, or part of it.
Oh boy.
And yeah, I mean, had I not just finished a midterm final at that point, I would have fired up a stream, but I didn't have time to set up my streaming software before the debate, so I just watched it and I did a live tweet a little. But overall, I think Pence won that debate. Overall, he wasn't as aggressive as Trump is, and I think that is one of his flaws. I wish he were a little bit more cutthroat and not so gentlemanly all the time. But he made Harris look like an idiot moron,
Well,
which is
yeah.
what I care about. What are your thoughts, Apex?
Well, I mean, I saw it as like a weird, like, reversal and uber magnification of the first debate with Trump and Biden, where Biden is the seasoned politician. He should be the one that can stand up there and talk like the people want to hear and make people comfortable by saying, calm and stately things, and maybe going off the cuff a little bit, but he's the seasoned, trained politician. Trump's the fucking bully comedian. Um, and that first debate was a shit show, as we all know. But this one, knowing Pence from before he was elected, selected as Trump's VP, he wasn't the same person on that stage. He was pretty close, but like his angles rather of attack, and backtrack. I really enjoyed the way he would backtrack. He would be given his 2 minutes to answer the next series of questions, and he'd use a minute to go back and drop some fucking bombs, and then use the next minute to answer the actual question. So I mean, yeah, it was an absolute schooling, as far as if you're judging it by any real political metric. as far as history goes. But I don't think that doesn't really exist anymore. I mean, with the normies, it certainly does, and those people's opinions certainly matter. But I think both in fact and in like perception, they like Pence just fucking absolutely demolished. All she had was sassy looks and um, you know sassy tones of voice. They both dodged questions though. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
Kamala certainly more so than um, you know Pence did. Sorry.
and I will say this: people were saying that the moderator did a better job than Chris Wallace. I don't know where they got that. I don't think she did worse than Chris Wallace, but I think she was. I mean,
Well,
she wasn't
I
good in her own way. She was really bad, especially once you look at her Twitter bio and you see that she's like a
yeah.
fan of Nancy Pelosi and that she's writing a bio on. Yeah, no thanks. I mean,
Well, I think again. I mean, it's kind of like an apples to oranges thing. Like she absolutely still steered things towards Kamala, but because both Kamala and Pence were so much more civil, just in general. There was no fucking Chad Trump energy in the room, fucking kicking podiums over and shit. Metaphorically,
I
metaphorically speaking.
I don't think there needed to be though because Kamal I think did herself in with all that snickering and
No,
um
I mean Alan's right. Moderators are absolutely like it's the antithesis of what a moderator is supposed to be. Like they're not supposed to have clear bias. You shouldn't be able to look through their fucking Twitter bio. Maybe if you tore through some private papers in their home, you could find some some secret beliefs, but that's against the fucking law. People are allowed to have their own thoughts. But yeah, you shouldn't be able to just look and people shouldn't be openly biased in a thing like in an arena like this rather. So
yeah,
yeah, it's all a fucking circus, man, which is why I have a really hard time taking any of it seriously or
what
trying to like watch it as a serious thing, you know. But
what what I want to know, and I tweeted this out like two or three times this week actually in regards to the debates is because the one thing I keep hearing is that these debates are for the undecided voters. And okay, normally I would get that in an election year, but again, we're talking at 2020 where a lot of people have been sitting at home, and even if they're working from home, generally people have more time to maybe look at some of this stuff than they might if they were commuting. So, well, I don't everyone I've talked to, regardless of whether they're on the left or the right, everyone I know has decided. So, who are all these undecided voters? I want to, at this point, I want to meet them. I really do. Just to be like, you know, how have you guys not decided yet? I, that's, I don't buy that excuse fully. That it's for the undecided voters. But like I said, who's undecided? I'm genuinely curious. So,
sorry, I
uh,
was muted. I can't fucking chat on my computer because Google is fucking gay, and I can't because my account's banned now. I can't log into my fucking backups. But
oh,
anyway,
oh yeah, that's
yeah. So I was
right.
muted. Yeah. Anyway, who's undecided? The people that are too well. I don't know, man. I don't want to say people that are undecided, but it's people that like the lesser of two evils argument doesn't work on them, kind of thing. Like they see, because I see a lot of that too, where people are like, I mean, yeah, dude, obviously Trump's not as fucking bad as all the media shit says, but he's still a piece of shit. And Biden, fuck Biden, dude. I'm not fucking. I'll vote third party or I'm not voting, or you know what I mean. Like that. Those are the most of the people that I've met. As far as literal undecided, where they're like, Yeah, I don't know. Biden might be a good pick, or Joe might be a good pick. Uh, no, I've not met anybody like that. There are fucking Trump flags wanging off, fucking wanging, wanging off the back SUVs and pickup trucks, or there's fucking Biden signs or hats, which there are obviously significantly fewer of in my neck of the woods. But yeah, man, I mean, it's everyone is declared. That's more fake news.
Yeah, so why even? I mean, like, why even have these things then? I mean, I don't know. I'm just I'm just kind of like, can we get the fucking thing over with now at this point? I guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
I always vote for the candidate with the biggest boobs. I'm with E Scorpio.
yeah. Well, if you're voting for,
That's why Tulsi Gabbard had my vote a long time ago.
yeah, well, yeah,
That's a
well,
pretty generally Republican person.
yeah, well, yeah, well, if Tulsi, I mean, if Tulsi had ran, I might have actually voted for her then for that reasons.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but the thing it is, Tulsi, who is pretty liberal on a lot of shit, is too conservative for the left now,
Oh
that
yeah.
which that ought to tell you something right there. So, um, and yes, also, boobs are boobs are awesome. Which by the way, I do want to address that real quick because I know that Owens fans still haven't been. I know that Owens fans have been watching me because I'll get like comments or tweet replies like you're obsessed with tits or something like that. What why do you talk about them so much on your show? And okay, here's a hint. If you're commenting that to me, but I see a bear emoji, let me just say this. You guys watch a moron who obsessively talks up penises on his streams and leans way too much into it. So I've decided that I'm going to lean into my thing. And if you're going to call me out for it, but you can't recognize your guys' obsession with dicks, which he lies out, then okay, that is whatever.
Not being obsessed with dicks is gay, Sammy.
Johnny, is that you? Did you
No, it's me. I have an escape artist. One of these little fucking kittens, one of these little gray babies,
Gravies?
climbs all the fucking way out of this little cage, climbs down, wanders around, and then climbs back up and in. It's the only one. He's the only one. But I just came out to use the bathroom, and there's a tiny little shadow running across the floor, so I was muted while I dealt with it. I don't know why. I don't know why I even bothered. Just let him run around.
I
Make sure all the doors are closed, and he's still tiny. But anyway,
So Static Void asks who has better tatas, Tulsi or AOC? Everyone says AOC, but the thing it is I mean AOC is just well she's a commie, and B her I hate to say it, but her face and also
oh no.
she's
Go ahead, Larry.
she's just one of those she is. I saw a great meme that she makes dumb blondes look smart, so which she does. But anyway, wow, we went from the debate to tatas and like.
Hey, man, listen, you said you wanted to lean into it, so embrace it. Let's go. Let's go. No, listen, man, you can't judge tits by their political affiliation, first of all. But to answer Static Void's question, I can't answer that because much like makeup, tits and faces can be very hard to judge when you strap a bunch of shit on them and put a bunch of things over them. What do those nips look like? I don't know. That matters in grading a pair of tatas, as you just put it. Whose are bigger? I think AOC. I think on the surface, but how much of that's padding? I don't fucking know. Neither do you. She does, but
Yeah.
Tulsi's hotter, dude. She's got that natural storm gray streak thing going on. Fuck.
Oh yeah, totally. The funny thing is I know this is gonna get clipped, and I know exactly who is. Well, I know one of the people who's going to clip this, and that's gonna be Bruce City most likely. Because if she can get clips of Semper talking about ham wallets, then
bro, you know Brew is already she's Brew is already brewing a synth for this for that clip. Kitty talk with Sammy and Apex. Who's got the better tits, Tulsi or AOC? Oh, hi, little baby. What are you doing here?
Probably.
Okay. Come here. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's too many kittens, man.
I know.
Dude. Can I send you some kittens? You want some kittens?
Sure, actually.
I don't think they'll survive the USPS at this point, but
here's the bigger question. Will our votes survive the USPS? I'm not
no. Well, I mean, no. Like, of course, and they're inanimate objects, so why would a living fucking thing? Although, I'm not gonna lie to you, most of the birds that I've sold over the last year or two have all come through the mail. So, but they don't need to eat or drink anything for like 2 days. Birds, chickens, and ducks once they're born. So Austin, I'll send you a kitten.
Apex says they'll drive the kittens to my house. Well, Alan, I need to
Sorry.
I need to hire. I may need to hire you again for personal security purposes. Because your other favorite streamer from Florida isn't. Well, let me just say this. He's not too happy with me for some reason. So, but
wait, who's not happy with you?
The googly eye guy.
Oh, Moish. Did we do Moish? Did you piss the Moish off, Sammy? What did you do to the old Moish?
I'm not even sure anymore. I mean the big thing is I defended Alan. So
that was a long time ago. Fuck that dude. I doubt he even remembers.
Yeah, I also might have asked who shops for houses at 8 p.m.
Static Void. Moish is an ex strip club manager with one wonky fucking eye that looks like it came out of a fucking dollar store googly eye pack. And he sits in front of his computer and makes money by telling people to do his work for him and then talking about it. Womp womp. Yeah. All right. What are we talking about now?
In terms of serious news, I guess there's a riot in Denver
Fake
Colorado.
news.
Uh, wait, are you serious
No,
that?
I'm joking. I told you, bro. Don't take anything seriously comes out of my mouth tonight. I'm masking it all with just like asinine humor. It's probably not even going to be funny most of the time. You're gonna be like, "Wait, what? Are you for real?" No, no, I'm not, Sammy. Continue.
Well, the thing of it is these I'll be okay. Let me just say that there are so many rides in so many places that you know I bet some of them are staged at the very least. That one did surprise me, but let me see here. Uh, ba, ba, ba. Okay,
Mostly peaceful.
let me
Welcome to my
see.
mostly peaceful protest. Here's your AR-15. You pick your ammo up off your enemies. Yes, just like Call of Duty. Now go die for anti-fascism.
Okay, so I did put in the show notes. Good deal. Um, Apex. I hate, I hate news websites. Most of them, how cluttered they are with ads.
Well, it's because it's not about news anymore, bro. I mean,
Nope,
we all know that. It's money. Money, 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 money.
I know.
What can I get? What can I write in this one sentence to get people to click so that these 45 motherfucking ads pop up and I make 13 cents each or 3 cents each, whatever. Anyway, so right, where is this at? Supposedly?
Uh,
Supposedly.
so I posted the link in the Discord, but
Yeah, I didn't.
I'll read this for you guys once I put it into reader mode here, and turn the get the. Is it going to let me?
Probably not. If I had to guess. Chat, how do I
Uh,
sound? Like as of right this moment, how do I sound? Tell me in the chat.
you sound
Good.
good.
I'm not Sammy. Your name is not Chat. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm just curious because I set my phone down and it's like a foot away from me.
Okay, so for some reason,
Thank you, Alan.
Streamlabs does not want to display the screen share, which is kind of gay, but it's whatever. Um, anyway, headline from CBS for Denver: shooting during dueling protests in Denver turns deadly. Okay. Denver police took two suspects into custody after a shooting in downtown Denver on Saturday. The shooting happened as hundreds gathered for two different protests and rallies. Police say one of the suspects is being held in direct connection to the shooting. The second person taken into custody was apprehended for different allegations, police say. One male was shot. Denver police say that victim died. Officers were staged all over Civic Center Park at the time. The shooting happened in the courtyard of the Denver Art Museum. Scrolling down here, officers flooded the area moments after the shooting. CBS 4's Rick Sellinger was near the scene. He reports people arguing before the gunfire and a cloud of orange smoke coming from the area right before the shooting. Police say they recovered a mace canister from the scene. It's not clear if it was part of the situation. the individuals in custody are described as white males. Well, that's super helpful. Police officials say it's up to the district attorney to determine whether the male who allegedly shot the gun was doing so in self-defense. And that's the end of the. Wait, no, I lied. One of the protesters was calling for police reform, while the other group was showing support for the police. The rally held by the Patriot Mustard Group was ending. Denver police are trying to determine the involvement of the victim or suspects. The victim was taken. So from what I've read on Twitter, I guess the guy who shot the other guy was another Antifa. So yet again, and this is just from what I'm reading on Twitter, but another Antifa guy killed a pro police supporter. Which,
well, shit, man. I mean, I can't say that I didn't say exactly that was going to start happening.
No, me neither.
The only thing, and I'm not even going to say that I'm surprised by it, but like my worst case scenario thought was more along the lines of, this every week or like multiple times a week. The pedophile and the domestic abuser that Kyle Rittenhouse shot in self-defense, and all the poor downtrodden black folk that have been killed by police over the whole dozen that have been killed over the last couple of years or so. They that shit, it's building in the minds of these radical idealists. And I had a conversation with my friend, and I'm really bummed that I didn't record it, because I've actually recorded a couple of our conversations without him knowing. And they're not worth saving. I just wanted, figuring the conversation.
Well, he might know now if he's.
No, he won't, because he doesn't listen to the show. He'll follow me on Versa, but he doesn't follow me here, because on Versa, according to him, it's a Trump circle jerk, and he finds it so irritating that I would show my face there, even though he knows me as a person, and I'm just a character on the internet now.
Well, what does
Apex the Fed? Yeah.
what does he think this show is? Or does
he doesn't know? I mean, he doesn't know anything about it. I mean, I've told him that I come here every Saturday, but he doesn't come here. I don't know. I have no idea. He's lazy. But the point, I don't even remember what the point was now.
What a dick he is. It's not bad enough that he thinks that you're a Nazi. He doesn't even watch you on the show where you're co-host. What a dick.
Well, yeah, whatever. I don't care. Quite frankly,
I'm being facetious. I'm sure he's somewhat of a nice guy.
No, but that's the thing, that's the point that I was trying to make, is I was kind of bummed that I didn't, because it's the first time I've spoken to him in a couple of weeks, and I try to talk to him once a week because he's my oldest friend, and we don't normally talk politics as like a rule, because it's divisive, clearly. But we started on this route, and this motherfucker, I let him talk for a long time because I couldn't believe the shit coming out of his mouth. But he passionately was preaching communism to me. He's never come out and said he was anything. He said he liked Obama more than he liked Trump, and arguments like, oh, I think Obama was a good dude trying to do the best, and he got crushed by the fucking system, the racist system. But he's never avowed any political party. But I mean, maybe he was just really baked. He could have just been really fucking stoned. But he just went on this impassioned uh, like ploy for like his ideals of communism. And when I started to push back, I let him finish talking. All these, I mean, it's like South Park tropes, dude. The things coming. I mean, it sounded like he was gonna cry. Maybe again, maybe I'm misremembering, and maybe he was just stoned. But like he was so, like he's got these fantastic ideas in his head. And his biggest problem with Trump, like most people, is the things that he says. He thinks that words amount to master plans. Like there's secret master plans laced within people's words, and he
Yeah.
is now, and he is now tuned into that. That's this the one thing that I really wish I had clipped or had recorded because not. I mean, I'm not trying to record private conversations with my fucking closest friend in the world. I'm just honestly looking for memes, and this was one of those things. Was a real conversation moment where man, talking about really stoned. He shit, what the fuck was I just saying? He oh yeah, the idea that there's a secret language being spoken among white people in particular. And not just white people, but the token blacks, the Larry Elders and the Thomas fucking Sowells of this country and this society. They're all in on it. We have a secret language and we speak in a certain way. And when we say certain things, the whole dog whistle idea. I mean, that's not a new term, but like I've
Right.
experienced it in real time now with this dude, my friend, my closest friend, whom I mean, I would fight to the death for under most circumstances, assuming it wasn't political in nature. I mean, I I don't know. It actually really freaked me out, man, because he was expressing how scared he is about quote unquote my side of the political aisle, and the things that came out of his mouth were things that I've never said or even suggested to him. Like he said some shit like, "Bro, if like." I can't quote verbatim, but it like something to the degree of being on opposite sides and like cutting ties and pulling the trigger. Like I don't know. Again, I'm thinking I'm filling in some blanks in my head here, but it was like I was so shocked by the things coming out of his mouth. Like again, this all stemmed from me just trying to say I I feel like I meme and I shit post and stuff, but like it's actually kind of freaking me out. I think the most important thing that can be preached is understanding and caution. Like that, obviously, that's kind of what got us where we are here. Too much of that, too much given credit and you know, given slack to the Chinese, to the fucking, you know, to the various groups. We've given all this, all the slack they could ever want, and then some to hang us with. Um,
Oh, that is one thing I wanted to ask you real quick. Going back to the debates, I was because Pence called out Harris and Biden on the Chinese actually, and my first thought was yes, he's calling out China. Finally, my second thing is Apex must be really he must have like a he must have a real stiffy right now.
well,
Seeing
I
this.
was I was pleased. I was pleased to hear that. And again, the man was so well spoken. Like if you I'm actually holding this in my like fucking 6 shooter in my holster with my finger on it, waiting for my buddy to fucking talk shit. Because he always pulls Obama as the statesman. Just that, like, not the best. He's obviously not the best politician, but he didn't go out of his way to make people crazy. He calmed people down. He spoke in a way that resonated with people and didn't incite whatever. While Pence did exactly that, and maybe even better. Um, except he wasn't black, and he didn't say as many times as I do, or as Obama did, for that matter. But
Oh, Obama said way too much for president.
yeah, there's no politician that makes me squirt save for a Tulsi Gabbard.
Well, I mean,
Scorpio. Just saying, Scorpio. Scorpio said Pence makes me squirt, and that's just a blatant lie, Scorpio. Listen, there's another blood moon coming. I'm pretty sure it's like the end of existence coming up. I think Revelations, bro. So it's another blood moon forest fight. Let's go. Let's go. We'll slip Sammy some more fucking, what was it, GHB and tequila. And he can sit there and officiate and just hit a bell. Ding ding.
wait,
Yeah, fuck no.
wait, what did you guys, something about GHB? So you mean to tell me that crazy dream that I had the other night about you guys fighting under blood moon, that wasn't a dream, that was like an actual thing that I witnessed?
No comment.
Okay. Well, now I really need to hire Alan as private security. Now
Tulsi gun grabber? I don't think so. She carries a gun as part of one of her jobs. I don't know if she actually carries a gun.
And Kevin, I see your comment about the Colorado about them having about DIA. One of the reasons I bring up Colorado is because, as the longtime listeners know, I grew up there. I'm a Colorado native, and people always ask you, "Oh, why did you leave Colorado and move to Florida?" Because of this shit. Right now, I within my lifetime, folks, Colorado has gone from a red state to a purple state.
Oh.
And now it's full on blue. And
see, now chat's fucking enlightening me here. I was not aware that Tulsi's promoted gun control. Well, I mean, that's pretty ambiguous. That's from Evil Eric, the gayest man in all of the world, in the chat there. Hi, Eric. It's a little late for you, isn't it, old man?
The gayest, the gayest straight, the gayest straight man,
the gayest straight man in all of the world.
Right behind Johnny Arcade. So,
literally right behind Johnny Arcade. Okay. All right. So did you see James O'Keefe? I'm sorry. That's a hard shift. Where were we at?
No,
I don't want to shift.
I was getting ready to transition to that. I was just gonna say that Colorado. I mean, I feel sorry for my friends who are still living back there, but I mean, I'm not surprised that it's become another Antifa hellhole. That's all I'll say. Because you guys voted straight Democrat for the last, couple election cycles. So look at what happened.
I'm cleaning water off of my laptop right now because I just had to mute. Oh shit! I just had to mute myself because I spit water all over my laptop when Evil Eric in the chat said that. Because Alan was like, "I'm gay." Eric's gay. Eric said that he's not only gay but insightful, like a thought of the day calendar. Gay and insightful, like a thought of the day calendar. That's comedy, bro. It's good. It's good stuff.
You know what?
Sorry.
You know what isn't gay though is Evil Eric's artwork, which some of it is being featured in the upcoming Whitfield Report store, which I should be launching tomorrow.
You know what is gay though is Evil Eric's calves. No straight man has calves like that.
That is gay. And his beard. No straight man has a beard that is that well coiffed. if that's still a word.
Right. Yeah, you can't say artwork and not imply some level of homosexuality, gayness rather.
Uh,
Now what are we doing?
Johnny says this whole stream is a homosexual honeypot.
Yeah.
Well,
Apex the Fed. Abort! Abort!
well, that's because you're here, Johnny, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But anyway, yeah. So speaking of gays, Colorado is run by a literal homo. So
Okay. Continue. Tell me more, Sam.
well, that's what I can say. Jared Polis, the governor, is a literal flaming
Show your
gay is a literal flaming gay leftist, and you know he's he's pretty effeminate when it comes to dealing with Antifa. So that's that's not good. But anyway, speaking of something that isn't gay and that isn't like homosexual gay, but gay on the internet, Joe Rogan has now decided to call it James O'Keefe, and James O'Keefe being the Irishman he is,
the based fucking Chad that he is. Yeah, the base news Chad that he is.
The base news Chad Irishman is now striking back against Rogan, which I have to admit, I'm usually a fan of Joe Rogan, but I'm starting to think that Spotify deal wasn't so good after all.
No, I agree. I mean, he's constant controversy with Spotify employees going on strike, and those certain episodes still aren't up, as far as I understand. But then he was talking about, he did say he was going to keep his favorite 100 episodes on YouTube only. So there's still a lot of ambiguity there, but yeah, no, I mean, listen, Joe Rogan is a fucking idiot. He's not that smart. He stumbled ass fucking backwards into the biggest podcasting business the world has ever seen. And he has said that so many times.
Yeah.
And I don't hate Joe Rogan, but I don't really like Joe Rogan. Like, I mean, I like him as far as the guests that he has. Mostly, you know what I mean? And depending on how he behaves for the first 30 minutes, I'll listen to most of it. I can't usually listen to a 3-hour fucking podcast, no matter who it is. I can barely do 2 hours with you, Sam, and I'm listening to myself talk. but, yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I think that he's misinformed. I think he's just like so many other smart people that, just follow the wrong thread. Because this is something I've said out loud and on the internet recently, that it's virtually impossible to do independent research on any major topic anymore, like on anything that matters, because almost no matter what it is, there is reputable sources citing the opposites. Like, there's literal opposite conclusions from reputable sources, be it climate change, be it fucking systemic racism, which, I mean, you guys, we all know how I feel about that. But the point, though, that's why shit's so fucking, everything is so chopped up, and I don't know, man. It's really difficult. I mean, maybe I'm just retarded, but Fed talks about research.
I will say this. I still like Rogan as far as like his hosting style goes and whatnot. and the fact that it's like more of like an open conversation type thing, as opposed to a strict like talk radio, 15 minutes talking time, cut to commercial. Like in stylistically, like I've definitely taken some cues from him as far as I host my show. And I mean, I'm not opposed to talking to people with opposing, viewpoints, but I mean, I definitely, I definitely think that he's not, he makes good points, but he even admits he's kind of a moron.
He
So,
can make good points, and he has made good points, but that's kind of my thing. Like, listen, it's what I call the Iseleb lolcow syndrome, dude. Like, they're all the same inevitable result. They're just varying degrees of it. They will all end up in the same place, in some version of a hug box. Um, you know, uh, Going against everything that got them where they are, or most of the things that got them where they are, and eventually being laughed at by, abandoned by their base and laughed at by most of the internet that comes across them. Uh, I don't know, man. Like, Owen just hit the fucking accelerator. He said, "Fuck all the bullshit. I'm going straight to the money. I'm not going to build a brand. I have a brand." He thought, again, we could talk about that forever, which we have, but
well, and I
yeah,
mean,
no.
he's a good example. I will say this though too. In some cases, your base can be. In some cases, it can be good to get a new base. Like when I first started podcasting a long ass time ago, my my thing was mainly doing like right wing normie political talking points, right? And then as I got older and started to actually do some more research, I found out that oh, the world isn't so black and white. uh and then what really woke me up was when I made the statement back in 2015 on the show that I would vote for whoever the Republican candidate was, even if it was Donald Trump. And then when Trump did get the nomination, I stuck by that, and a lot of people in my audience at that time went never Trump. So I was let go from some of the quote unquote young conservative podcast networks that I was on, and decided to do my own thing. So it doesn't. So sometimes striking out on your own can be good, I guess.
Well, no, damn, we're talking about two different things, though, dude. Like that's the crux of the whole Owen arc for me. Is like I absolutely understand that, and many of the tactics that Owen has employed, but none of them have been genuine, and they've all been so rapid fucking fire because he's an idiot and he can't. He just, again, he's after one thing: money and influence. That's what he wants. So he used what little influence and connections he had, the Crowders, the fucking, and everything else, to learn, conservative Christians, fucking boomers, don't talk shit about the Jews, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what he did for a hot minute. And then the whole gummy thing and Nimmer imploded in his face, and he got abandoned by the people that led him to where he was. So he was like, okay, well, fuck everybody else. I've got all the tools I need. And he put that pedal to the floor, and he went from flat earth to the moon's fake and turpentine and all the fucking everything, every goddamn thing else in between. And I mean, that train's going to come off the tracks like we called it years ago. I mean, the DZ called it before I ever even was, a twinkle in Gabe's eye. Because Gabe's the father of the DZ now. All of a sudden, that was that joke. But anyway, long before that, everyone knew that the Owen train was coming off the tracks eventually, and it will. And it's product of his own design. And it's, again, every E-celeb is the same, from Stefan Molyneux to fucking Ben Shapiro. I mean, maybe not Ben Shapiro, because depending on how insulated they are.
Well, I'll tell you what Ben Shapiro's deal is, and this is coming from someone who used to admire him. He used to work for Andrew Breitbart, who, I will say this, I mean, as far as, no one is perfect, but as far as commentators go, Andrew Breitbart, the man himself, I mean, I revere him pretty much, and I mean, he really, in my opinion, Andrew Breitbart was more of the model for like what internet journalism should be. And
bro, it's amazing what killing a man actually does in this day and age, doesn't it? Because it wasn't that long ago that Andrew Breitbart was fucking kicking doors down, journalistically speaking, like you said. On as far as the internet goes, I mean, there's nobody that's done it the same or more aggressively, and I mean, what was that fucking that reporter who like his last messages to his family was like, hey, if I go missing, something happened to me because I've got a big story. And then his car just like blew up in LA. It just like blew up going down the fucking highway and ran into a tree. Who the fuck was that? It was a big name.
I know who you're talking about. That was the guy who gave Joe Biggs his start. So
yeah, well, either way, like, I mean, that wasn't that long ago. Neither one of those things were that long ago, and already people like.
And what?
Oh man, I don't know. It's amazing.
Here's what I'm trying to say though about Ben is, for a while I gave Shapiro the benefit of the doubt because he was supposed to be Breitbart's protege. Andrew even said so when he was alive. But after Breitbart died, someone from Conservative Inc. Gave Ben a whole bunch of money to start the Daily Wire, and I guess Ben turned not necessarily to the dark side, but to the money side, I guess.
Now, Sam, listen. I did not have Andrew Breitbart killed, but now I may have provided information in accordance with a deal for the Daily Wire to make sure that Breitbart does not live anymore. In accordance with my religion. Excuse me. My name is Ben Shapiro.
That was pretty damn good. Not nearly fast enough. I will say this, because a couple people asked me this. Yes, he really does talk fast, to the point where he talks faster than most people think, or at least he talked faster than I thought at 17, which was when I interviewed him. But anyway, speaking of Andrew Breitbart's real protege, going back to Joe Rogan here, James O'Keefe is now in a beef with Joe Rogan, so I have the clip pulled up. Apex, I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, but
yeah, just go ahead. I just watched it. Actually, I watched the first half of it again today. I watched it when it came out, and then I'm in prep for this just a little bit ago. So you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. So for those of you who haven't seen it, and I saw the beginning of it, but I didn't have a chance to watch the whole thing. Here is Joe Rogan versus James O'Keefe, or vice versa. This should be interesting.
Recently, Joe Rogan criticized myself and Project Veritas, and I'd like to respond. First, it seems Joe Rogan struggles to remember my name.
The guy, what the fuck is his name? That guy that's always doing the undercover shit, the Veritas stuff. That guy, Project Veritas.
It's just interesting because previously he did not struggle to remember my name.
There's this all Project Veritas is this guy James O'Keefe, the O'Keefe podcast.
Oh, okay.
The Project Veritas guy.
Yeah.
And there's been videos of what is that Project Veritas, where that guy his employees got undercover footage of Twitter employees talking about that kind of stuff.
So it's just interesting to me, but let's move on. Rogan seems to doubt the veracity of the ballot video with the guy with all the ballots in his car, Liban, but doesn't seem to doubt the veracity of the Twitter shadow banning videotapes that we obtained in 2018. Listen to this.
James O'Keefe. He's got a new one now about Ilhan Omar.
The ballots in the car.
Yeah, the ballots in the car. And he's got these guys saying, look at all these ballots, look at all these ballots. But you got to go with that guy. You got to go, okay. Then he also catches shit that's real.
Yes.
Like he caught those people on Twitter, the Twitter executives talking about how they shadow ban people.
Yeah.
How does the Twitter video, and by the way, he's referring to Abhinav Vedrevu, this clip right here.
One strategy is to shadow ban so that you have ultimate control. The idea of a shadow ban is that you ban someone, but they don't know they've been banned because they keep posting, but no one sees their content.
So that's the Twitter shadow banning clip, but Rogan goes, meh, when it pertains to this Snapchat video of Liban in his car. Again, he posted it to his Snapchat in early July. It's a real actual videotape recorded by Liban himself. Wasn't recorded by us. It wasn't obtained through the element of pretense or deception. It was actually a more pure form of obtaining the information than undercover subterfuge. So why is it that the Twitter video you like, Joe Rogan, but the Snapchat video recorded by Liban you don't like? Explain to me why one is different than the other. They're both incontrovertible video evidence. Is it because you think there's more merit in exposing bias at Twitter, that there's less merit in exposing corruption or illegalities as it pertains to ballot harvesting? That doesn't make sense to me. Then Joe Rogan says this.
So it's like whenever someone can't be straight with you and they have little tricks and they have stunts.
The ballot harvesting in the car was not obtained through a stunt or a trick or a device or any deceit or undercover reporting like we did with the Twitter investigation when we set up a fake Jobs Box account and did a human resources sting to obtain the meeting with Abhinav Vedrevu. The videotape in the car with Liban was obtained from his Snapchat account. No tricks, no devices, yet you're talking to me about tricks. How does that work? Then Rogan seems to ask how the media perceives this Minnesota ballot harvesting investigation.
What is the general consensus? Like, how is the media treating this Ilhan Omar thing?
When I looked today, because I saw it yesterday, the initial response I saw was probably more from like liberal sides for being like, this is just to fog the conversation because of all the tax stuff that just came out.
If you read the article carefully and you can see the text in the article, they didn't actually certify that we did this to coincide with the Sunday New York Times tax article. They just assumed that we did. In fact, we made the decision to release the Minnesota ballot harvesting investigation prior, and we have evidence of that, and the New York Times just speculated. So that's the first thing. But the second thing is, when we ask about what the mainstream media thinks about what we do, we're kind of feeding into the very thing that we're fighting, aren't we? Now, the New York Times has come out with this ridiculous headline. It was a, quote, disinformation campaign. You could see the graphic right here. Disinformation campaign. And the evidence the New York Times uses to claim it's a disinformation campaign, that we did a media embargo with social media influencers like the My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell, ahead of time. It is for that reason I met with a guy who has a huge audience, that they claim that these tapes of all these ballot harvesters doing this illegal stuff is disinformation. They're justifying an embargo as disinformation. That, Joe Rogan, is how the media is responding, and that is precisely why we can't trust the media or sit on the sidelines and complain or wait for our media brothers and sisters to tell us the information that we should be consuming. And Joe Rogan, this New York Times disinformation headline was recycled. It was recycled by local TV in Minnesota.
But all of this fits the Project Veritas MO, according to Stanford researchers, who say it appears to be a coordinated disinformation campaign.
Recycled by Vox, it was recycled by Salon, it was recycled by MSNBC and many others. Indeed. And then young Jamie, the producer, says that maybe we should take this with a grain of salt due to my history.
And not take this with a grain of salt because of his history.
Yeah, but it takes time it takes time to gather up that kind of information. Right. I don't buy that it's just when the tax stuff came out.
Well, I'm glad you don't buy that because our timing was completely coincidental and we decided the day before. But you have to understand that all of these media apparatus, or what your friend Eric Weinstein referred to as the DISC, the Distributed Idea Suppression Complex, does not allow the information to break through.
Whatever the ABC News function is that stopped that story from running, that might have saved people from having terrible incidents in their lives, I don't know. Whatever that thing was, is my enemy. That's the DISC. And we have to slip the DISC in order to save our society. That's basically my take.
No major media institution reported on that cash transaction. The New York Times edited out of their article the cash transaction in exchange for the voter registration form that you see right here. Ding, ding. They just doctored that out of the article because it was too manifestly damning. So they lied by omission. They didn't include the fact that having more than 3 ballots was a violation of state law. They didn't include USC 10307.
Okay, so I'm not done with the clip. I'm gonna keep playing here, but basically what I'm getting, it seems like once again Rogan is more or less like, I don't even want to say sitting on the fence, but he just kind of seems oblivious to what's going on. Like he's trying to report on what the facts are without actually knowing what the facts.
No, I actually think that
Indeed
this is
are.
a fatal. I think that this is a fatal flaw to the Joe Rogan experience ideal. It's lasted for a long time and it's got huge. And he's been, the pressure's been building on him in various fields for mostly unnecessary reasons. Everyone, I think, listening to this would agree. But Joe Rogan is a very conscientious and empathetic person. And for the first time ever, he issued an apology recently about, whatever the wildfires being started. Holy bet still. Fuck you, yeah. Scorpio. But sorry, I got distracted. What were we talking about?
We're talking about Rogan and something.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. No, I was just saying that I think it's this is going to be the kill shot for Rogan, or not. Maybe not. Maybe he's quote too big to fail. But he doesn't read comments. He doesn't look into a lot of things. He's said that for years now. He advised fucking Owen to not to stop reading comments, stop replying to shit, dude. Well, stay the fuck off.
Well, yeah.
I'm sitting in front of my computer, Eric. Thank you. Which is not in front of my toilet, but
yeah, Apex is not Near-Eye, Eric, and you know that only Near-Eye can get away with sitting on the toilet and streaming.
Well, my point though is that he's being portrayed as this news source, which he's not. But he says it over and over and over and over again. I just talk to people and I give my opinions on them, which is why people like it. But Well, I mean, maybe I worded that wrong. It's not a kill shot for Rogan, because I really do think that he's kind of insulated at this point. You know, besides his fuck you money, he doesn't have to do his podcast anymore. He can just disappear, which is fine with me. But either way, either way, if he stays or if he goes, like, this little angle that has been used against him, and it's been ratcheted up over the last couple of years. If he tries to play that game, though, if he tries to play that, oh shit, you know what? I am huge now. I just made $100 million. There's fucking, there's billions of people that listen to this every year. And he starts feeling the pressure to, like, be a responsible journalist, even though he's not, and stop doing what he's always done. That's what I meant will be the kill shot. He's going to try to scramble and cover his ass and make apologies for things that he said were incorrect, instead of putting a disclaimer at the fucking front of his videos. This is opinion. This is, jokes and hyperbole. Fucking, this is just a conversation.
Yeah.
But then that would take away from the Graham Hancocks and the fucking, the legitimate scientists that are doing work that are being subverted by the mainstream science community. There's a lot of that going on too. But there's also fucking, I don't know. He also has Duncan Trussell on wearing fucking spacesuits and shit all the time. So look, I don't know.
Look, here's the thing about this whole podcasting thing. As someone who has been, doing it for long, and
don't you flex your fucking privilege on me, Sammy.
And
you already got the wheelchair.
And yes, I can already hear. Oh well, you're not as big as Owen, and you don't even have 1,000 subscribers yet on YouTube. So what? Yeah, I hear all of that, but I've been doing it for 14 years. I've been doing it since I was 14, since 2008. And one thing I can tell you is that when I started to do this, I did it because I enjoyed talking about stuff, and also because when I was a teenager, the Obama administration had, when I began the podcast, it was during Obama's first Hope and Change, during that initial campaign rally, and I thought it would be funny just to kind of, be the Republican candidate, and kind of just because I was a contrarian at that time, right? And it did trigger people for the right reason, but as I started to, I've always loved doing podcasting and radio. So as I started to grow it, I started to want to monetize this thing. So when I got the opportunity to monetize 2 years ago with Anchor, who is now owned by Spotify, I took it. And I will be honest that they've been great because, I've been able to be monetized a little bit, but also Spotify did help me out with the whole bear thing, because around the time when the gummies happened, around the time the gummies happened, the bears were also trying to take this podcast off of iTunes and everything else. So Scorpio says I sold out. Well,
no,
Scorpio.
I was just gonna say.
I
Go ahead.
Scorpio is being sarcastic. I
of course he is. Of course he is. And the dude sells fucking mugs with Teddy Spaghetti's face on it. Come on,
Scorpio. I did sell out, but I sold out to the Gamma Secret Kings. I sold out to you. That's what you don't realize. Is I sold out to be a Gamma dude.
You sold out to DZ to be a GK.
I could have.
Shame on you.
I could have taken I had an opportunity to take Turning Point money at one point. There wasn't anything set in concrete, but I talked to people at some points, and it just didn't work out. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, when people say that Rogan sold out just because of the money, maybe, but I mean, I'd also like to think that he still podcasts somewhat because he still likes it. I mean, I don't know. I haven't made this podcast.
No. He clearly fucking does. Because he's been talking about fuck you money for 5 years now. And I mean, he did just sign $100 million deal. I don't know what the clauses are or like what the stipulations of that contract are, how many podcasts he has to do. I mean, he may only have to upload one a month. He may not have to upload any. It may have just been a deal that says any podcast that you upload from 2021, January 2021 forward, go on Spotify, and he could just say, okay, well, I'm done podcasting, man. But I think he could have done that a long time ago, quite frankly. But he does seem to enjoy doing it. Again, which is why I think people gravitate to it.
So here's my question, and this is kind of the point that I'm trying to get to with this is, okay, if someone said you can do your podcast however you want, you have carte blanche to do whatever you want, and we're gonna pay you $1 million, or we're gonna pay you a huge sum of money, would you or would you not take that? Being honest, or like, even if podcasting isn't your thing, because I know that like guitar is more your thing, or videos. Let's say that someone gave you a shit ton of money for your Owen, or for any videos you made.
I mean, okay, well, like if I don't know how far that analogy extends, because if someone gave me $1 million to just make the music that I wanted to make, of course I would take that. But if if I found myself in a position where like I was making music and that music got popular, and the only way to continue making it was to sign a deal with the devil, then I don't know. I don't think I would do it. Like,
well,
right. I mean, to be saved, to be pulled out of a lifeboat, paddling to save your life, doing something. Maybe that's not a good analogy, but like, you've been podcasting for a long time because you enjoy doing it. You enjoy talking to people. I've played guitar for a long time because it's something I enjoy. It feels, I enjoy doing it, and I'm not great at it, certainly compared to what you can find on the internet now.
Right.
But, I enjoy it, and it's something that it flows out of me. And if someone offered me money to do that, like without like a blank check kind of idea, yeah, I mean, I probably would take it. Hold on. Sorry, I got to mute for a second.
Now, with that being said, this is my other point. If someone offered me a ton of money to do the podcast, but wanted me to change like my whole thing completely, like wanted to dictate what I could talk about and limit my, guests and whatnot, then I would change. I wouldn't say I would change, but then I would say no. Depending on how much. If they wanted me to change completely, I'd say no. So in regards to this whole thing of Rogan is just in it for the money, I'm not sure about that. That's kind of my conclusion. I've talked about that before with the Spotify deal. By the way, it just occurred to me that let's see, do we have any super chats? Oh, Saucin, I guess, subscribed. That's weird though. I just pulled that up, and that was like from almost 15 days ago. But that alert just popped up when I turned on the alerts. So.
Well, you had an update, so maybe there's something going on there.
But
toss it on brew, my fuss.
Yeah, hail brew.
Hail brew, hail sauce.
Hail brew, hail sauce, hail Josh. So he's in the chat.
No, he's eating his dinner now. He said stay American, but much love to old Mr. Rogers.
Let's see. I mean, Kevin, I would never join Soros.
Well, but that's. I mean, Kevin makes a good point. Like, what were you asking me? That I kind of got lost because some shit happened here at home. But like, okay, someone offers you $1 million to do something you enjoy. What are the stipulations of doing that? Do I have to write this? Do I have to write a certain kind of music? Do I have to write? I mean, okay, maybe a certain number of songs or a certain number of jokes or a certain number of videos or podcasts or whatever per month or per year. Like, yeah, that would make sense. But
yeah, that would make sense.
Who I could like what what hertz can my music be at? Like what keys can I play in? What songs can I cover? Or what songs can I parody? You know what I mean? Like that's where I would, the fine print. I can't say that I would take $1 million, for anything. I mean, I can actually, no, I can't. I can absolutely say that there's a lot of things that I wouldn't take $1 million for.
Not
involving things that I am passionate about and would want to make a career out of.
Me either. Let's
Will
see.
you change your format to a pro AOC boobies podcast for $5?
I mean, thank you for the donation, you Scorpio. I mean, I've never said I'm anti AOC boobies, just that Tulsi has a better face. As far as
No. You said you were anti AOC boobies. You've done fucking burned your whole house of cards down, bro. AOC's got the bigger tits. She's just commie and got a kind of a fucked up face. Tulsi's objectively better looking and politically, but you want to talk about boobies, Sam. You can't be so biased.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are certain Insta models I could promote that are better than both of them, but we're not gonna
don't.
we're not gonna go there. So I don't need the Insta hose trying to break down my story. Well, at least not negatively. Let me say
That's exactly what you don't want, Sam. That's exactly why you don't want to bring that up. Okay. Where are we at now?
See,
What are you doing?
and see, folks, that's what this show has turned into. A semi-serious political show mixed with comedy and spontaneous comments, and just like 2020, the Whitfield Report is a chaotic mess. You don't know what you're gonna get. Could be anything at any time. So we're still watching the O'Keefe video. So
Okay, go ahead.
Rogan is proving he's clueless. Let's see.
Yeah, go ahead.
And but I mean, to answer Kevin's question real quick in regards to how much Soros would have to pay me, That depends, because if Soros controlled my content and had say, obviously, I wouldn't take it. But here's the thing. If Soros got to the point where he was so senile, which he's getting there, to where he just offered me money, I would take his money, and then I would spend that money to expose everything that he's done.
You've fallen right into it, Sammy. It's called the honeypot, my friend.
Well,
how many people have probably thought that about that fucking vampire?
This is
Same with Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, this is completely this is completely hypothetical.
Oh, sure, but I can't imagine a hypothetical in which I would take money from George Soros to do anything. It's kind of, I mean, on the surface, I don't see how that's like, I don't see how that's tenable.
Oh, me either. I would. I mean,
well, you just said you just made a connection, and I mean, it was a loose and very like fantastical connection or like a hypothesis, but I think that's the kind of mindset that the people that fall into these traps have. Like, oh yeah, you know what? I'll take this money and I'll expose these fucking people. That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure you will, buddy. Sure you will.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if I took Soros's money, which I wouldn't, but if I did,
of course. I mean, I'm just, I told you, bro. It's gonna be a shit show tonight. You said it right off the fucking hip. Welcome to the shit show, folks.
Well, it's 2020, dude. This whole entire year has been one long October surprise. Boom, got the title.
That's another thing. I'm gonna complain about this real quick to you in the chat.
Please do.
I am so fucking sick of people blaming the year, or like not blaming the year, but like, oh, 2020 is gonna be so much better, you guys. 2020, I can't wait for fucking 2021. An arbitrary date on a calendar made up by what was it? The Gregorian calendar. A fucking Catholic priest, several hundred years ago, or 1,000, whatever. I don't know. At least 1,000, maybe. Somewhere in there. An arbitrary date. Oh, the start of the new year. That next year's going to be better. Next year, 2020, 2021, 2030, fucking, like, I mean, it makes me very, I don't want to say angry, but it, like, makes my skin crawl a little bit. Because it's such an arbitrary measurement, dude. Like spring, summer, fall. This spring sucks, man. This summer sucks. This winter sucks. Those make sense, but like the year as a whole, I mean, I don't know. I feel like you hear it every year. I hear it every year, and every year it's the worst year you've ever fucking heard. And this is, in fact, the worst year of certainly of my generation. Or, I mean, fuck, the people that fought in Vietnam and World War II are like, son, I don't know how you're gonna fucking, I don't know. I feel sorry for you, buddy. Like, these poor old vets that, watched their friends die in the mud and killed little Asians for no reason. Are like, yeah, I've never seen the world so fucked up, dude. You guys are fucked. So, like, yeah, I mean, it's fair to say 2020 is a pretty fucked up year, but I'm just really sick of people using that, like, frame. Like, this, you know what we should do? This generation and this generation's parents are so fucked up. I'm so sick of this generation and this generation's parents and the generation before them and before that. You know what I'm sick of? I'm sick of the bankers and the people that claim to be white only when it's convenient. Cough. Sorry.
And
I'm not gonna go there.
And the YouTube stream just started glitching as soon as you.
No, it didn't. No, it fucking didn't, because I didn't even go there. I didn't even talk about the Secret of the Jews, the best Ninja Turtles movie.
Well, I will say this: the fact that people think that this COVID thing is going to be over in post-election, that's what makes me laugh. Is the fact that people think that this pandemic is going to be over. So,
well, it will have to be, and it may come through violent uprising in various forms. Which I mean, is what do you want to call it? Like cardboard cutouts of that is happening already, but the backlash to that, the actual, uprising is going to happen. It's going to happen. I mean, if it keeps going the way that it's going, I'm not a sage. I have no fucking idea what the future holds, man, but it does freak me out how polarized people are. Smart people that are like, no, fuck the left. I will fucking murder you if you step on my property. Like, wait a minute. What does that mean? What does left mean? What does left mean? Well, if you fucking smoke weed, I'm going to fucking kill you on sight. Oh, well, okay. Well, I'm dead, even though I believe almost everything you believe, other than I can put in my body what I feel like I should be able to put into my body, which is kind of a traditionally leftist ideal. Let people do what they want to their own bodies, as long as they're not hurting anybody else. You know what I mean?
You know what else?
So,
you know what else used to be a kind of a liberal idea? Free speech, and now it's not.
No, that's true, and I think that's another weird thing. It's like the pendulum is like at the we'll say the apex of swinging back, in the other direction in varying degrees, because there was always talk of the swap. It's been touted for a long time about how Democrats of course the Democrats were the founding KKK and Jim Crow and all of the most racist shit that this country's ever endured. But the parties swapped ideals along the way. And right now, in 2020, that argument actually makes sense. Like, there's some merit in my mind to that argument, because I feel like we have been watching exactly that happen the other direction. Things like free speech and sovereignty and private property, and like, people should be able to say whatever they want and think whatever they want and believe whatever the fuck they want, as long as they're not hurting anybody. No. You can't think this. You can't say that. You can't be this fucking skin color unless you get on your motherfucking knees and apologize for it, because reasons, you know what I mean? So because we're in the middle of it, everyone is so fucking confused. Not everyone, but so many people are so confused, because like, we've all grown up. Anybody my age, your age, even the kids, well, maybe not, depending on their age, of course. I definitely grew up the Republican Party in the Satanic Panic, trying to ban music, ban Slayer, fucking ban Metallica, and shit like that. Like, no, it was the conservatives and the Republicans that did that shit. Well, the liberals were like, no, you should be able to listen to whatever you want. We should be able to teach these kids. That starts in the home, and literally that is the opposite now. But again, I think it's in a form of indoctrination, I guess, or brainwashing, or all of the above. But it's frustrating, and it's really funny. Listen, it's really funny most of the time, but too many people that I care about care about future, like I care about their future, like are in this, like, on this wavelength that, like, I don't know how to bring them out of. And I at this point, I don't really try anymore, which leads to separation of communication in general, because then all they want to talk about, because they're so fucking wound up in their current mindset, in this current atmosphere, they're fighting against this, what I perceive as a shift of ideals from party to party.
Oh, super
back
chat.
to where they were. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Kevin donated $5. Let me replay that. I missed it. No message. Just thanks.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Kevin. That's awesome.
Thanks, Kevin.
Holy fuck! He just tipped another $5.
No, that was me replaying. I think that was me replaying that. So.
Oh man, I got excited. My Kevin's fucking rolling. No.
But I still though, Kevin, I appreciate that. And Storm Wrenches is right. The swap. I mean, the swap never really happened. I mean, the left, the Dems did start the KKK, and
yeah, but that's the perception, and it does. I mean, again, for my generation, I can see that painting, or at least the frame of it now, as what I could perceive the pendulum swinging back the other way. What it could be, and what I would imagine Storm of Wrenches is highlighting here, is that not only did the pendulum, the ideas never switched, but now the mask is fucking falling, not just falling off, but it is evaporating off of the Democrat. They've tried to take all the things that the Republican Party did right and subvert them through various means over the last couple hundred years. And now that's falling apart. And I mean, again, this is a hypothesis. I'm just speculating as to what Storm Wrench. But okay. Oh man, there's too many things happening around me. Hold on. Talk, Sam. Sorry.
Well, we'll continue to play this Project Veritas video while Apex is handling the Graybees, the gray kitten babies, which I think is what's going on.
Graybees, yeah, that's exactly right.
I watch your videos, Apex, so I know they're called Graybees. So, seriously though, Apex's cat videos are fucking adorable. Alright, so Rogan believes that the Minnesota ballots that O'Keefe exposed are fake, and so let's continue on.
Which says that it's a felony, a federal felony, to pay someone in exchange for their future ballot. They didn't include that information, and then we sit around waiting for the media to do something about it. Well, guess what, Joe Rogan? We are the media, not them. We are the ones that they now have to respond to. And if we don't do the work, nobody will do the work. Because anybody who does the work is viciously and savagely attacked by people who buy ink by the barrel. And people want to drink out of that poisoned chalice. They want to be praised and liked by the New York Times, so they don't do this work. So it's up to us. So when you ask questions like...
What is the general consensus? How is the media treating this Ilhan Omar thing?
When you ask questions like this, you are feeding into the very thing that you're ostensibly fighting. That's what you're doing. So don't ask those questions. Ask about the incontrovertible videotaped evidence that we have. If you want to say that it's fake or staged, then say that. Don't infer it or insinuate it. Go out and say it. Because I can tell you, I swear to God, and I'd swear under oath, that the footage that you see here is real.
If that's not real,
right,
and this turns out to be bullshit, there should be a punishment for that.
Absolutely.
So here's the thing. A lot of people have wanted to punish us for supposedly publishing things that are not real or false or fake or defamatory, and they've sued us. And Joe, we have won every single lawsuit Project Veritas has litigated. We have not only won the lawsuits, but in many cases, they've paid us after we've won. Like this guy in his law firm, Steve Wentz, who is a union president in Kansas. We recorded him in a bar saying this.
You really think I'm a motherfucker? Son, go for it. And I'll give you the first shot.
You've done this with students?
I've done this more than once. And I said, but I'll guarantee you, I will kick your fucking ass.
And we won. Or this woman, Kim Korber. We recorded her in California saying this.
Texas got upset about it, and they wanted to have their founders. They want to pound the founders in. And it's like, come on. The dead white guys did not create this country with a whole bunch of different kinds of people.
And we won. And a judge ordered her pay us because we won an anti-SLAPP motion. I think it's important you compare our track record with that of CNN, the New York Times, and all of these supposed journalists that we keep asking what they think about our stories. Because our track record is unbelievably accurate, probably more accurate than any other media corporation. In fact, I can't think, and probably neither can you, any media corporation which has not settled a lawsuit. So why are we branded as the organization which is inaccurate or makes stuff up? I bet you can't name one thing in the last 8 or 9 years since our incorporation in April of 2011 that we've made up. Joe Rogan, name one thing that we have made up.
But if it turns out to be true, there should be punishment as well.
Well, I would certainly think that the incontrovertible video evidence of the guy with ballots all over his lap, which is a state crime, and the federal felony of the cash transaction on tape, that probably has a more likelihood of being true than all the people saying it didn't happen. People will say a lot of things. They'll say whatever they need to say when they're caught on tape.
Because I have intelligent friends that sent me the Omar thing, and they're like, this is very disturbing. I don't know if it's true. I mean, it was funny because he was tweeting out that she said something about how voter fraud is like this, like the numbers of voter fraud are so minuscule, it's like 0.0006%. Yeah. And then he tweets out this stuff about her and voter fraud.
Right. I was referring to when Ilhan Omar put out the tweet, and there you see it right there, that this is very, very infinitesimal. And I say, well, this tweet isn't going to age well. But when you expose the sacred cows, when you report on information that the director of the FBI says can't happen or doesn't happen, that the media apparatus says there's no evidence, and when you show evidence of something that the powers that be say does not happen, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think that I'm going to be unscathed? Do you think they're all going to say, thank you very much, we were wrong? People don't just roll over and give it to you. They attack. They lie about this. They say it can't happen. And in that regard, they're the conspiracy theorists, not me. Because when you can see the people's faces, like here, when you can see the people's faces doing the cash transaction, there's Siad. When you can see Liban's own Snapchat account, when you can see his face in all the ballots, that's actually reality. That actually happened. What journalists write in articles after the fact is just hyperbole and obfuscation. That's just words. That doesn't matter. That doesn't mean anything. It's their opinion. It's conjecture. So, again, rock beats scissors, videotape beats lies, and a builder can build faster than a destroyer can destroy.
The one thing that, I mean, watching the video, just watching it, it's obviously highly edited. So, like, you can't say it's not an edited video, and that doesn't take a lot of things away because you have to edit the video.
You kind of have to edit, right? But because it's got to be small.
You don't know who the people are that are being covered up. I think when I was reading through people that are like, I think Newsweek that was digging into each piece of it today, and like I don't know that they could verify everything because they weren't saying that this was necessarily false.
Well, that's a really logical fallacy, young Jamie, because if the news media can't verify, they're not willing to verify it. They're not willing to substantiate it. They edited out of the article the actual criminal activity, and then they say it's unsubstantiated. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And credit here to Joe Rogan, because he rightfully points out that everything's edited. You have to edit things for time. That you can't play all the raw information, nor would you want to, because oftentimes you have to protect your sources. This is the paragon of investigative reporting. The fact that journalists attack us for protecting our sources, when we actually show, you can hear the voices, sometimes we blur the faces, but you can hear the voices, you can hear the inflection and intonation in the voices. You can't hear the inflection and intonation in Bob Woodward's sources because he doesn't tell you who his sources are. Bob Woodward quotes someone quoting somebody else, and he puts those in quotation marks, and he calls that journalism. So if that can win a Pulitzer Prize, I don't understand why so-called editing, I don't understand why we're being attacked for the so-called editing.
But why would, if someone was doing something that illegal, why would they be like, who are you, strange man with camera? Come.
Baby Dick Jamie, love it, Apex. That cracked me up. Um. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much need to play the rest of this clip, but yeah, I mean,
no, yeah, I mean, I think everybody gets it, and I think everybody in the chat has probably seen that by now, or if not that, they've seen at least the ballot harvesting video. I would hope.
Yeah, the ballot harvesting one is. Let me just say that the ballot the thing with the Project Veritas videos with a lot of them is like they used to have a lot more shock value in them, like back when I was younger, but now it's like it's more like this is incredible to see, but it's not shocking because I'm not surprised by any of this anymore. If that makes sense. So
yeah, no, I said something in the chat about only having Twitter's the like only social media account I've ever had, other than like MySpace and then my YouTube, and then something else. And Sasha was like, "Yeah, and that Instagram that you fucking abandoned." Like, I have an Instagram. Holy fuck, I do, because back when I was still clipping Helen, I needed an Instagram account in order to watch him live.
Saucin is
she's saucy. She's saucy as fuck.
Saucin is everywhere. So Saucin is everywhere. She's invading.
She was right. She forgot. She was like, because she's everywhere. And she knew she was certain that I forgot about my Instagram, and she was right. I did, because I don't use social media. What? Twitter. I tweet. Tweeting is fun. I like fucking with people on Twitter.
Listen, I forgot I had a Snapchat until someone reminded me.
Listen, I've had a Snapchat for 11 years. So y'all can catch me on Snapchat at Biggie._Dick at Gamma.Snapchat. Yeah, for the I don't know. I'm not going to be racist. I'm not going to be racist on your show, Sam.
Well, I know.
I'll Bart Simpson that shit. I will not be racist on the Whitfield Report. I will not make racist jokes on the Whitfield Report.
I mean, I've had Jolly Rogers on here before, so I'm pretty sure that ship has sailed.
Well,
but you know,
no, I don't want the Whitfield Report to go the way of Johnny Arcade 1, Johnny Arcade 2, Johnny Arcade 3, fucking Apex Gamma 1, and all of the others at fucking one step. And gosh damn it, that stupid Texan train riding motherfucker.
Oh yeah, him.
Nobody, future nobody.
But yeah, no, I appreciate that. Although, to be fair, the first Sam Whitfield channel got nuked a long time ago with all my old shows. So
that's why you should already have a Whitfield Reports clip channel where you post clips to.
Yeah.
So that when you need multiple backups, bro. Because unless they've changed TOS, which they probably have, as long as the alternate account exists before your primary account gets banned, it's not subverting technology, or using technology to subvert whatever the fuck terminology is.
Yep. And that's why I also have a BitChute page too, and a Josh Hu video. channel as well.
Scorpio, I don't know how deep you are in the Owen lore, but is Teddy making people kiss his asshole now? Is that what you're talking about? Or does he wear some like D&D ring on his little sausage fingers?
Wait for real? Because well, because
no, Scorpio said everyone winds up kissing Teddy's ring. So I made a gay asshole joke about that.
Well,
I've been listening to way too much Cumtown podcast. Way too much of that. I'm sorry to bring that up, but
because with Teddy and Owen, you just don't know. They literally might. Well, okay, yeah. This show has already gotten weird enough with like the boob talk and whatnot.
Bro,
and
just you talk. What? Listen, we didn't even say nothing weird. Come on, Sam.
Well,
wasn't that weird?
Well, not weird to me, but then again, I just, what can I say? I like boobs, and I will not. I also like beer, and I will never apologize for liking beer or boobs. So
okay, we get it.
That's what Brett Kavanaugh should have said. So no, that reference went nowhere. I see.
Listen, I was pissing in the toilet, and there was a loud splashing sound, so I muted my mic for a second. All right.
I
apologize.
I appreciate that. We don't need. You can't steal Neri's bit. So.
You want to hear? Hold on. What are you guys doing? What are you doing? Oops. Hi.
Oh, I heard it. I heard him. You.
Hello. Yes. They're little spider monkeys, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry, not to derail. Not derailing with kittens.
But
yeah. Other stuff. Say other things.
And boobs to the 13th words, and beer, they will never take them from us. I don't know what.
1480 boobs.
14 boobs should be the stream.
No. Storm and Wrench, that's not true, because one of the first times I ever was on Sam's stream, I was at my old house, and I walked out around the corner, and I was taking a piss as I was talking, and someone in the chat was like, "Who's fucking pissing?" 2 people, in fact, were like, "Who's fucking pissing?" I'm like, "Holy shit, you guys could hear that?" Sorry, and I learned from that point forward.
I think that was Johnny. that said that. So
I think Johnny was in the stream though. Actually, it was somebody in the chat. I don't remember who the fuck. It was like Annabelle or one of the OGs. Anyway, so we talked the debate. We talked the O'Keefe thing. We talked the newest shooting by Antifa faggots.
In Colorado. I mean, do we want to talk about Trump returning to the White House, or I mean, I don't really feel like there's any news there other than he's fine and.
Well, I actually do have maybe it's a bit of a cold take, or maybe even a glacial take. I don't even know.
Feel free. Yeah, I'm.
But, how long ago was it that Trump did that town hall where he had people, he sat in an auditorium and people came up to the mic and asked questions. That wasn't that long ago, right? A couple weeks ago. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that would have been about a month ago that he did that, probably.
Okay, so a few weeks ago, 4 weeks ago or so. There was one of the highlights of that thing was that Latino or Hispanic woman that came up and she started talking to the mic and then she pulled her mask off of her face. She's like, "I'm sorry, sir," and he's like, "No, I love what you just did there." It's just a little anecdote, something I noticed, but the way he pulled his mask off when he got back to the White House and shoved the thing in his pocket. I mean, I said this on your show, or maybe I don't know if it was on your show or if it was on Versa. But like, I wanted a fucking mandate or like a goddamn what do you call it? The pen is mightier than the sword. What is it? The fucking executive order. I wanted an executive order banning, mask mandates federally. Like, you can't make people fucking wear them. And then of course he was like, no, masks are American. It's American to wear a mask, and I was all bummed out about that. But it seems pretty clear to me at this point that he's if there ever was a dog whistle, if I've ever seen a dog whistle from Trump, it's this whole mask thing. Like, where he's like, nah, you know what? These masks are bullshit, because they are. And everyone with a brain and the ability to read the package of the mask they're putting on their face they're bullshit. It's just it would be an insult to Band-Aids to call them Band-Aids, because they're more like fucking like a rhinestone Band-Aid on a wound that doesn't exist. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know a good enough analogy to make that funny. But
you know why you can't think of an analogy? Because there is.
Please tell me, Sam.
Because there is no good analogy. Because the whole. It's
like a mask on your face for a disease that doesn't exist, or a disease that's not that deadly, not deadly enough to wear the mask because the disease exists. Oh my God, this is a fucking hard heel turn, but I have to get this out. I wanted to tweet this, but I was so fucking busy today at work that I forgot. I heard a take from a real person that I spoke to for almost 10 minutes that believes legitimately that George Floyd didn't die. George Floyd is alive on an island and got paid for a performance to pretend that he died by the hands of police to start a race war. Now, this was from a black man. This was a black man that was telling me this story. And listen, I don't like the idea. First of all, I couldn't do it without being like, I'm going to film you, bro. I wanted to pull my fucking phone out and start filming. Can you start over, please? But it took every fucking bone in my body. Or everything in me to be like, just listen with a straight face and be like, I don't think that's true, man. I mean, lots of people die by the cops. I mean, not lots of people comparative to how many people interact with the cops, but people die by the police. I just think it's, they just use them,
right?
Circumstantially, as again, a theory we're all familiar with here, and you certainly are. It's an election year, of course.
Well,
but I was dumbfounded because this person not only believed that George Floyd was alive and that his pretend death that he got paid for was to start a race war, but this dude despises our current president and is voting for Joe Biden. So that's the world we live in. I mean, that's the world that I live in. That's the community that I live in. That's the kind. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to deal with that. I tried.
The only comment I have for that honestly is wow.
Well, right.
I mean, what else is there? What else is there to say?
Well, you could say, "Hey, man, have you heard of the Platinum Plan, or whatever the fuck it's called? Or have you heard of the First Step program? Or have you heard of?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Any of the countless things that Trump has gone, in my opinion, well, maybe not too far, but he's like excessively trying to prove to the black community that he's not racist. The proof exists for several decades now. That man has he's never shown any outward form of racism with his rhetoric or otherwise with his behavior. There's all sort of anecdotes that I've heard from people like, those famous, those reputable Hollywood and reputable and upstanding Hollywood actors and such that say nice things about him and the things that he's done for
sure
people. But I mean, those are all anecdotes. I don't really care. Evil Eric said this in Discord a long time ago. I think well over a year ago, shortly after I joined. And certainly he's not the first person to say it, but he was the first person I saw put it into the words that they were. And it was effectively, that I don't care. He personally doesn't care what Trump says in public. Like, the words that come out of his mouth are virtually non-consequential. What matters is what he's doing on paper and for the country. And now that's salient. That's a salient point. But the problem that I'm encountering now is the words that come out of his mouth have been used so divisively and spun so maliciously that my well-meaning and maybe mushy-brained best friend he buys right into it. He thinks he's like some sort of fucking special agent in this war against racism as a white man that grew up in a white family with all the money in the fucking world. He's the definition of privilege.
Sorry, Pex. I just had to laugh.
You roboted there. You were laughing?
Did I robot on your end? Because I was laughing.
No, dude, all I heard was wop 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 wop. Yeah, like it legit said that was the most robot I've ever heard. I could not make out laughter from that. But either way, yeah, no, he is. I mean, he's lost, man. And there's as close as we are, as well as we know each other, he believes that I'm brainwashed and that he has all of the answers, all of this secret language that he thinks he picks up on. God, I wish I recorded. I really wish it was only like a 40-minute conversation, 40-minute conversation. But I really wish I would have recorded it because it was, I couldn't, I mean, we have done some terrible shit together. Some very less than honorable things as youths, him and I. And my jaw was on the floor at the things coming out of his mouth. The things he was like advocating and my rebuttals. Okay, so he used examples like, okay, man, you remember in school when we you could get like the shitty little fucking peanut butter sandwich and a little bitty bag of chips for free, or you could pay and you could get fucking, the hot pizza, or you could blah, 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 blah. Like, okay. And like, yes, I remember that. What's your point? Well, what if I guess my jaw was on the floor because it was the most stereotypical and like cookie cutter arguments you've ever heard. Like, well, what if, man, like those kids that had to eat those peanut butter sandwiches didn't have to eat those peanut butter sandwiches? What if they could eat, like the warm pizza like everybody else does? Like, well, first of all, who pays? Why do you think those kids get to eat those peanut butter sandwiches in the first place? Not because the school pays for it, because your taxes pay for it. I mean, and I'm not gonna sit here and defend taxes, which is another divide that we come across, because he's like, how can you sit here and be a fucking a 30-year fucking criminal / drug addict, not 30, 20-year criminal / drug addict, going counter to the law in almost every step of your life, and try to now defend the legal system to me. And I find that's where I have a difficult time doing that. I'm not going to lie to you. But there's so much more nuance than people in life. There's so much more nuance to all of this than people give it any credit, especially on the internet. They're looking at all this evidence and testimony and tweets from these people and clips from that person. They're not there. They don't know the people involved. They don't know what the fuck's happening. I posted a clip of a black man whose 2 sons were caught stealing from somewhere. I don't know where. It was like a 30-second clip, 25-second clip or something. But the context was sons caught stealing and father beats them in public. And he fucking grabs the biggest one by his fucking wrist and picks him up and starts fucking whacking him with the belt. I told you, boy. I don't remember all the things he's saying. I told you, boy. I fucking told you. The kid's trying to run away, stand still. Kid drops to the floor, whacking him with the belt. I mean, it looks excessive. I'm not going to lie to you. He goes over to the little kid and he's like, all right, now it's your fucking turn. Picks him up, starts fucking beating him with the belt. And the question that I retweeted was, a black man beats his fucking kids in public for stealing or for getting caught stealing. What are your thoughts? I'm like, well, first of all, they're his kids, right? Assuming they are, then good. I mean, not good necessarily, but good on him. Right. Because not only is he doing what he thinks is necessary, but I saw in that video, there's 5, 6 other kids in that room and they are all petrified. So learn by example. I learned a lot that way. I was humiliated in public by my parents. You know why? Because it was a fucking asshole on purpose. I was an asshole. I was not. I wasn't just a troubled kid. Right. I did shit to piss people off, including especially my parents. So, fuck you. You don't know from this 25. I mean, there was a lot of that's fucking child abuse. That's illegal. You can't do that. No, I mean, I don't know the context, but given what it was and the information I was given, I'm fine with it. I would like to see more of it, quite frankly.
Listen, I got spanked as a kid every once in a while. I never really acted up because when I did, I got a spanking. When I learned at like a very early age to behave because my parents, disciplined me and put the fear of God in me when they needed to. And obviously that wasn't happening like all the time, but this whole thing, the thing that is really weird to me, and I don't know if you've seen this, but it started to happen a little bit with some of my friends, particularly in like middle school and high school, but some of my I wouldn't even say my friends, but more like my classmates. Some of their parents, at times, it seems like they were trying to be more like their kids' friends rather than their parents. Which was
that's the plague. That's a plague. That is the plague of my generation, your generation, and for absolute certain, the youngest generation after both of ours.
Yeah.
Is this helicopter, this idea of helicopter parenting, and like, you know, don't be a parent, be a friend. You know, you can be whatever you want to be. Your kid's never wrong. Fuck that idea. Listen, I mean, I can sign on to that to a certain degree, but like, it's been pushed so hard, so far. Even again, since I was a kid, I can remember adults telling me things that I think back on now. I'm like, if I fucking saw you now, I would kick you in the fucking dick. The thing, you know, the shit that you filled my head with, you know, relatives, aunts and uncles, and cousins and shit, you know, older cousins. Like, you're amazing. You're an amazing this, and you're an amazing that, and you can do whatever you want. You can be the fucking president. No, you fucking can't. Guys, let me tell you, kids that are not going to listen to this, you can't. Parents that might, don't tell your kids they can be whatever they want, because they can't. You're lying to them. Don't lie to your kids. Well, I mean, lie to your kids, but don't lie to them. Don't lie to them like that.
What my parents said is, you can be whatever you want, but you better work your ass off for it. I mean, it wasn't you can be whatever you want, but, you know, it was basically, if you want to make something of yourself, you're going to have to work for it. And, you know, that's always kind of been the case. For me, at least. And the other thing, going back to what you were saying about your friend, you know, thinking that you're like some right-wing extremist. Dude, I have a second cousin who is like that too. She's not even like my primary cousin. She's a secondary cousin. After the 2016 election, she basically DM'd me on Instagram and basically like wrote me this long letter about how she couldn't believe that I, of all people, voted for Trump because I'm handicapped. And it was basically something along the lines of like, she's disowning me. And it was weird. Because I'm like, okay, you're someone who I see at parties, like at family reunions, like maybe once every 5 to 7 years, maybe. And yet, you know, you're acting like I've personally insulted you or something.
Fuck those people.
It's just, so she writes me this whole letter at like how horrible I am because I vote for Trump, right? And how like I'm supporting violence and Nazism and whatnot. Then like 2 days later, I go onto Facebook and I see that her status is that she wants to punch Mike Pence in the face. And so I challenged her and I said, wow, for a peace-loving liberal, you sure are talking a lot of violence. And this is what drives me crazy. Her husband, who is a Texas A&M law school graduate, starts white knighting for his wife. And is like, well, I have a law degree, and I think that Trump and Pence are bad. What's your certification, Sam? Do you have a law degree? And it's like, no, but I don't need a law degree to know that what you and my second cousin here are both spouting is nonsense. And I mean, I don't know, that's another thing that bugs me is when people with these fancy degrees start babbling for no reason, because it's like your degree. I will agree with Owen on this, and I hate to give him credit on anything, but these days most college degrees don't mean shit. They really don't.
No, I would agree with that.
Oh yeah. Lawyer boy is a simp, and the thing of it is, Scorpio, he was simping for his own. You don't need to simp for your wife. You're married to her. But also, as someone who's practicing law, you wouldn't want your wife to. I wouldn't think you would want your own wife punching the vice president of the United States, or advocating for, if you're a lawyer. Just saying. But yeah. So I mean, Apex. I also have experience with annoying liberal friends and family members. So.
Well, I find it less annoying anymore as I do concerning. Because, as I've mentioned before, these are people that I respect their opinions mostly, or I have up to this point. And maybe I'm just overthinking. Maybe I've just been so fucking sheltered in my own head that I've ignored signs that have been there all along, which is probably more the case. Because difficult times bring out the chaff, it's separated from the wheat kind of thing.
The thing of it is you're
retarded.
No, the thing of it is your friend, though. I will say this: you at least seem to, you and your friend have like a very deep personal relationship. I'm talking about a cousin who up until after the election didn't speak to me, most of the time. And yet she's acting like I insulted her, personally, some way.
Well, that's why you got to take the higher ground, Sammy. You got to use all of your experience and all of your knowledge, both of the atmosphere and the facts, and that person challenging you, to try and bring them to the light. It's just like the idea of converting people to Christianity. The old missionary ideal. Yeah, let's go fucking stick our foot down in places where people believe things that aren't what we believe, and try to teach them the gospel of Jesus, because that's the way that they're going to get into heaven. They may believe that. And they may be wrong. I don't think they are. Just like I don't think the messages you stand by are wrong, or the messages I stand by, generally speaking, broadly speaking, are wrong. I mean, listen, I'm fucking retarded. So certainly a lot of the things I stand by are not, true for most people. But go ahead.
The thing of it is, I wasn't even trying to start an argument. I was just saying that, hey, you shouldn't punch the vice president in the face. That was all.
Well, you don't have to try to start an argument, though, Sam. All you have to do is stand by your principles, which happen to be even slightly contrary to theirs.
Yeah.
That's why it's important to have that, the red pills in the chamber, man.
Let me. Serial, I am not. I'm not extra gay. I'm not even gay. You're
says the gay man riding the gay rape machine.
the gay rape machine. Oh God.
The lore expands. Oh, Sammy. Listen, Sammy, I gotta work really early. And last week actually, I'm not gonna go too far into detail, but for the first time ever, I was very, very late to work opening my store. So
all right, yeah, I got you then. Well, we're not really talking about any. We're not really talking about anything. Oh, Sawson came in with the winning cut. Says the gay man who talked to tits all day. Well, that's it. That's exactly it. Sawson, I am gay for tits. So.
Well, listen, that's just like the gay dudes that, would. I don't know, man. I was gonna make a good joke, like you're just pretending you like boobs so much to shield your homosexuality because you're ashamed of it. You only pretend to like boobs outwardly so much because you really like wiener and not boobs, the opposite of boobs.
Okay, Owen.
Oh, and that's our show, folks. Good night, everybody. Sam's gay and he rides a gay wheelchair. Rape machine wheelchair. I'm just kidding.
He
likes boobs though too.
I've said this before. I am only gay for Johnny Arcade. Meaning I'm very happy for Johnny Arcade. Although I don't know why I would be happy. But...
Yeah, that's listen, Sammy, that is the most racist fucking thing you've ever said. Why would you be gay for Johnny Arcade and not for Gabe? Why not for Lissa? Why not for Zenit, for Neri, for the bastard child of the danger zone, your very own Apex Gamma? Why wouldn't you be gay for all of us if that's your definition? If you're going to be happy, if gay is being happy for,
you've
just shown your bias, man. You might be a literal homosexual for Johnny Arcade. I think is what you just said.
Well, I'm.
Gamma logic. No.
Damn it! I'm gamma again. I've been gamma.
And I would have gotten away with it, wouldn't you? For you dastardly gammas.
I've been gammaed. That's okay. All I need to do is go watch 10 minutes of Owen, and I'll be homophobic again. So.
What you have to understand is, Owen is a faggot. That's all. Good night.
Very, very good, Sean Connery. But nah, in all seriousness, though, folks, I think we've covered a lot. Actually, it's kind of been a slow news week, but anyway, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Thanks to E Scorpio and Kevin for the donations. Thanks to Sawson for subscribing, even though that was 15 days ago. And thanks to Fat Cake Boy for manning the fort over at D Live. And thank you to Matthew for watching the Periscope stream and for sharing that out. And thanks to E Scorpio and all the mods for being the mod squad, even though that's the vast majority of the chat. But you know what? We love you, and thanks for watching.
Wait. I have something to say.
Yes, Sean.
To the mod squad. No, I'm not Sean. I don't know who the fuck Sean is. But to the mod squad, thank you for all of the things you do in Minecraft, including... Never mind. Good night, everybody.
I was trying to say that you...
I was gonna make a suicide joke in Minecraft, like killing myself in Minecraft, but I figured, considering the day and like I didn't want it to be taken the wrong way. So, no worries, guys.
Probably a good...
Much love, guys.
Probably a good idea. Anyway, folks,
even though I still just like to explain the joke anyway. Yeah, go ahead. Good night.
Good night, everyone, and we will see you on the next episode of the Whitfield Report. Merch store opens tomorrow, so stay tuned. You have my word on that.
Yeehaw!
Alright, good night, everyone, and thanks for watching the Whitfield Report.
Go fuck yourself.
Report show. And, no, go fuck your wives. Really good.
Go fuck yourselves. Hey, listen, go fuck your local Gamma. How about that?
Yeah, show your Uncle Gamma a really good time. How about it?
I didn't say no. I said local. I didn't say uncle. That's weird, bro. We're not going there.
I said local. I said local too, asshole.
You said uncle. You said uncle, and I heard it. We're good. Brew, please, brew. Anyway, good night, everybody.
Good night. What a gamma that guy is. All right, folks, from all us here at NGC Studios, thank you for tuning in to the Whitfield Report, Saturday Night Shit Show edition, and thank you for putting up with all our shenanigans. And oh god,
I'm sorry. I thought I was muted.
Yeah, he always thinks that. But anyway, God bless, God save this great nation, God, freedom, legacy, in that order. If you're still watching over the stream, God, I don't know. You might have abandoned ship at all the boob talk or something. I don't know. I'm sure. I'm sure that
God save my penis, please. God save my penis. God save this country. You're all amazing. I love you.
God, freedom, legacy, in that order, and good night, folks. God bless. Hey there, folks. If you've made it this far to the end of the podcast, I'd like to thank you very much for listening to the show. You are the ones that make it possible for me to make an income from podcasting, and I greatly appreciate that just by listening to our show. You are helping us gain ad revenue. However, if you would really like to help support the show, I encourage you to please donate to the podcast and become a supporter of the show. you can head over to anchor.fm/Whitfield Report and click the support this podcast button and choose the amount that suits you to support the show. Or you can click the link in the show notes and it will directly take you to that page. If you can support the podcast, I really, really appreciate that. Anything that you can do to help out is greatly appreciated. Even if you can't afford to help financially support the podcast, I encourage you to please go on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or Stitcher and please leave this podcast a positive 5-star review. That really helps us out here at the Whitfield Report. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next episode.